Hi, boys and girls. This week you're going to listen to a book called Blizzard by John Rocco. This book has great illustrations in it, and it's actually based on a true story. Even though it's a storybook, it's kind of nonfiction too because it's about the blizzard of 1978, which John Rocco lived through. He was a little boy when that blizzard happened. And in the back of the book, he has a little paragraph about how his family survived that blizzard. So I want to read that to you first, so you have a little bit of background on the story. It says the blizzard of 78. On Monday, February 6, 1978, New England experienced one of the biggest snowstorms in its history. It snowed for 2 days, and by the time it stopped, parts of Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut were buried under 40 inches of snow. That's 4 times the height of this book. The wind was blowing 50 miles an hour and created snowdrifts up to 15 feet high. Where I grew up in Rhode Island, it took over a week for snowplows to get to our street. This book is based on my experience as a 10-year-old boy in that blizzard and how I got to the store over a mile from my house with tennis rackets tied to my feet. All right, so let's see what happens. This book has really cool illustrations in it, and he does a really interesting job of letting us know how time has passed and what days of the week it gets to be, so pay extra attention to that. All right. One day when I was a young boy, nearly 4 feet of snow fell from the sky. This is my story. Blizzard. Okay, so it's Monday. It's written on the chalkboard at his school. The first flake fell right before recess. There it is. It was followed by many, many more. The wind whipped up and school closed early. I say, yay! By the time my sister and I got home, the snow was already over our boots. The snow continued to fall through the night, and I thought it would never stop. So here in his bedroom, he's got a picture or a poster of Mount Everest on his wall, penguins, and he's reading a book called Arctic Survival. And so you can tell he really likes like snow and wintry stuff. And outside is his stop sign. So you can see here how deep the snow is, and then look how deep the snow is in this picture. So now it's Tuesday, written in footprints by the squirrel. The next morning, the snowdrifts were so high we couldn't open our front door. Mom says, be careful. So we went out the window instead. We laughed as we sank deep into the frozen powder. Dog says, woof. But walking was hard. It was like trying to move through white quicksand. Every few steps, I had to stop and rest. He says, oof. It was even too deep for our sled. He says, we need sled dogs. Poor dog. When we went back inside, we were cold, wet, and tired. Mom says, welcome back, explorers. We made camp by the wood stove, and our feet tingled as we sipped hot cocoa made with milk. Still reading this Arctic survival book. Here is Wednesday, written in snow in the tree. On the third day, Dad shoveled the driveway so he could get the car out when the snowplows came. We dug tunnels and secret rooms under the snow. An igloo can keep you warm in sub-zero temperatures. He says, what's an igloo? You guys know what an igloo is, right? It's like a house made out of snow and ice. By day 4, the plows still hadn't come. I wondered if we'd ever see grass again. It was Thursday. Inside, things got tense as our food started to run out. I knew we couldn't survive much longer on cocoa made with water. I think this is his mom and dad talking. We need to get to the store, but the roads aren't plowed and we certainly can't walk through this. He's reading his Arctic survival book again. He's thinking about a man walking in snowshoes. And it's Friday, made out of raisins. On day 5, I realized it was up to me to take action. I was the only one who had memorized the survival guide. I was the only one who knew what equipment was required. He's got tennis rackets. I was the only one light enough to walk on top of the snow. That was pretty smart. You turned tennis rackets into snowshoes. Now it's Saturday. On day 6, I made a list. Milk, bread, eggs, and a candy bar. I prepared the sled, and then I set off. My usual landmarks were covered by snowdrifts, but I managed to check in with the neighbors on my long journey. So by landmarks, he means like if you were going to walk to Morgan's from school, You might think about you're going to walk down the street and then you're going to walk past the church and then you're going to walk past the courthouse and get to a stoplight and the post office until you pass the library until you get to Morgan's. And this guy says, we need candles. I need cat food, coffee, peanut butter. He says, okay. So then you open the pages up and it shows his whole trip. And let's see. He started here, checked in with his neighbors. He goes around this way, helped build a snowman, goes around the tree, climbed a lookout, comes up here, went the wrong way, made a snow angel, explored an igloo, joined a snowball fight, and then he made it to the store. And remember, the paragraph we read in the beginning said it was a mile. So it was just about like from walking to school to Morgan's. So imagine doing that all by yourself when you're 10 years old and you're wearing tennis rackets for snowshoes. So he's brave, right? At last I reached the store. I was tired, hungry, and chilled to the bone, but I couldn't think of myself. I was on a mission. The man says, are you going to carry this all by yourself? He says, yes, sir, I've got my sled. And the woman says, yes, he's on his way back now. I think she's probably on the phone with his mom and dad. They're checking in to make sure he got there okay. On the return trip, I raced to drop off the groceries before the sun went down. The lady says, wow. Grateful smiles and cheers gave me the energy I needed to make it back home. Meow. There he is, getting to his house. His dog is so happy and his family's so happy he's home. That night, we all had hot cocoa made with milk, and it never tasted better. He says it was a perilous journey, but there was something else we still needed. Snowplows! It's Sunday. It looked as though we would see civilization again after all. Guess we'll have to go back to school tomorrow. She says, boo. Mom says, thank heaven. This little guy says, I was going stir crazy. And they're giving cocoa to the plow drivers. We had survived the blizzard. There's the page I already read you. And here is a real picture of the author, his brother, and their dog in 1971. And they're playing in the snow. So his real dog looks like the dog in the book. I love that. It's really cool. All right, guys. I hope you like that. That's one of my favorite books in the whole library. Miss you. See you soon. Bye.